Welcome home. This is the interior of the coach, and this is the queen size sleeping area. This is the main bedroom. Here we have the lights. There are a main light here up above here. There's two more reading lights over here. There's a smoke alarm here. There is storage here underneath the queen size bed. Underneath there are 4 chairs. There is the freshwater hoses and fittings, freshwater only. And then in the back, all the way to the back to the right, is a barbecue grill. Here in the master bedroom, the queen size bed, there is a hamper and then a mop bucket with a broom, with a mop, hand broom, and then this is where the actual trash can would get stored also. I also want to make you aware of this particular window. It is the emergency exit window. In the case of an emergency, you would bring the red handles in, push the window out, and that would be your egress for an emergency escape. So be aware, do not park this side of the coach next to a cliff. That would not be wise if you needed to get out this way or anywhere where there might be a hazard outside of that window. So, and then the other thing I needed to show you is, this may sound kind of redundant, but how to operate the blinds. So it is advised to close the blinds and keep them in these holders here for transportation when you're actually going down the highway. And that's what the book says. So secure them, close them, and you're ready for transportation down the highway. There you go. And this is the galley area. This is the dining area. This table and dinette area does convert into a bed. We'll show you how to do that here in a little while. There is storage underneath this dining area, and we'll show you that also when we convert this over into a bed. Here are all our appliances: sink, stove, microwave, and refrigerator. So the sink here for going down the highway for storage, this will go down and this lid comes down. One thing I was told was that when you are transporting and that lid is coming down, this is the valve that operates the sink. I'm just going to leave this head down so you can see well. So to pull it out, we'll open up the water for cold, and then when you move it up and out is the hot water. So this is the tip I was given. Make sure that it is down and closed, obviously, but if you aren't sure of that and this stays up and you close this lid, it knocks that valve open, and if you have your fresh water in there or you have your freshwater tank full, it could drain your freshwater tank. So just make sure that is down when you close the lid. And this is the stove. So to light it, you would move it over to this valve. You would push it in and then move it over to the light position and then hit the igniter, and the burner should ignite. If there isn't propane primed into the system, this may take a few tries. So you would just keep it held in into that light position and keep hitting the igniter until the propane got ignited or primed into the burner here. And you do the same thing for this other side. Push it in, turn it to the light position, hit the igniter. Everything's pretty well primed here, and then you can adjust. There, and then turn them off when you're done. And again, for transporting, close that lid. The microwave / convection oven. You will need shore power to operate this. Inside is a glass plate. When it comes to transporting or moving the unit down the highway, I'll show you where I put that glass plate. Underneath the microwave is storage. There is an air compressor. Everything may or may not be this way. It should be like this for a while, but here's an air compressor and then some other just little odds and ends. In here are some fuses, which is transitioning over to this fuse panel here. You got your breakers here and fuses here. If one of these fuses goes out here, you can see these. There's some indicator lights on. It should tell you if the fuse has gone out. Okay, that'll let you know easily. There are a couple of other fuses to the left that do not have the indicator light built in to the unit, but I did get some other fuses here that do have indicator lights, so that could be a culprit there, so just keep that in mind. The light should come on if those bigger fuses do go out as well. And this is the refrigerator. To turn it on, you just press and hold this mode button, and then it's going to give you the option of what you actually want to run the refrigerator on. So it can run on 3 different energy sources. So shore power, battery power, or propane. So right now it is saying it's running on shore power. We are connected to shore, but to cycle through to the battery, we would just push that button until it cycles through to the battery, and then propane. Now it's going to be running on propane. You do need 12 volt power though, to a little bit of 12 volt power to run off the propane. So we're going to come back to shore power, and this is the temperature indicator, how cold you want the refrigerator to be. You just cycle through from highest to lowest and then back up to highest. To turn off the refrigerator, you just hold that button again until all the lights power down. And then this is the inside of the refrigerator. This is the freezer. This is the refrigerator area, storage here, and then of course shelf storage. And door closes and locks into place again for transportation. And I want to show you how the furnace operates. This is where you would turn it on here. It actually is located underneath the sink here. That's where the hot air comes out. This is where you would turn it on. This little switch here is going to move towards the front door, I guess you would say. It doesn't move out, it moves to the side. And then you'll hear the unit already coming on, the furnace coming on. It's going to start firing up the furnace and blowing some warm air in. And then, just like any normal thermostat, you move the temperature here to the desired temperature that you want. And that's it. That's how you run the furnace. And turn it off. So this is the television. So it secures up here to the wall. To free it up, you pull on this tether string here. If it's not coming loose easily, these arms tend to get bound up. So if you just kind of loosen them, or I don't know if that's the right term, but just kind of tweak them so that they're not so bound up, this tether will come down and you can release it. So the television kind of comes out and is a little more visible to the larger area. So that's the television. I will show you. I'm going to put it back up so I can show you. This is where the antenna is, and this is where you would put the power on to the antenna. That's going to give you a little bit extra range and power. So it's actually on right now. To raise the antenna, it's already in the up position right now. You would just turn this crank, and then to lower it in the opposite direction, you would just turn it in the opposite direction. To move the antenna to get better reception, you pull this cup out and then turn the dial, and then that's going to turn the antenna up on the roof, and that's how you can get better reception. And then for transportation, as I mentioned, you would lower the antenna down. There is an occasion where the antenna doesn't actually seat in the cradle all the way down. You might have to help it. I'll show you how to do that right now. I'm going to lower it and see if it just happens to do that. So the antenna did not lower all the way and seat in its cradle. What you can do is just grab this hook here. This is normally for the awning. That's kind of all you need to do. Now we've unbound it. Now we have to go back inside and crank on the handle and lower it all the way and secure it. Now that the antenna is unbound, we just need to seat it into its cradle and secure it. And that's it. Snug. Do not over tighten that. So we're going to show you how to break down the bed and also the storage area underneath the dining area. So we're going to put this away over here in this closet towards the back. Put this mat away over here. And we're going to start moving some cushions around so we can get to getting this table down. This is the storage area over here. We have plenty of storage. There is a first aid kit down there. And there's also storage area over here. And again, there's containers to store all this stuff around, or store your stuff in so that it doesn't shift too much. There's also a small tool kit there. Might get you through a little pinch here. Going back to the table, or to the converting this over to a bed, we will release these latches here. Lower the table. Secure the latches again. And then start putting the cushions back in place. This is all the unit should be transported from, I guess, according to the manual. And this should be it should be in the down position, in the bed position. This is how you would make the bed. And the other thing that I do when transporting is getting this glass plate, stick it in underneath that corner there, and that has served me well. I haven't had any problems with it right there. And that's it. That's the breakdown of that bed and the storage areas. And this is the storage and supplies underneath the sink. You've got everything that you need: 4 plates, dinner plates, 4 salad plates, 4 bowls, coffee pot, percolator with a percolator, a couple of smaller cutting boards, some mixing bowls, platters, lids for your pots and pans. The pots and pans are located down here. 4 cups, 4 mugs, fire extinguisher, insulated kettle. This is not for heating. There is a teapot on the back that you can use for heating water and storing in here for doing dishes, so you don't have to turn on the water heater every time. Just a little tip. There's also these containers for storing food or whatever it is that you are going to store underneath this. And then again, as I said, your pots and pans are located underneath there. And this is the closet here. There is the spare linens for the bed here in the galley, the convertible bed, towels, washcloth. There's again all your linens, like I said, plus this little flower pot here for decorative purposes. There is an iron back there if you're ever going to get fancy, and there's an ironing board here. There's some exterior lights. And that's it for the closet. You've got plenty of space in there as well. Inside the bathroom is the systems monitor. This will turn on your water pump, which you would be using if you were hooked up or running off your freshwater tanks. This is the systems monitor, actually on-off switch. So this is going to turn on the systems monitor. It'll take a while for it to boot up. But once it does, it'll tell you what all your levels are at for your freshwater, gray water, black water, and battery. So give it a second here to boot up. It's saying the fresh water is at a critical level because it's empty. We don't have any fresh water in there. So we're going to hit that button, and it's going to go through each item one by one and tell you that the fresh water is empty. Now it'll go over to the gray water, tell you its status is empty. It'll go over to the black water, and it's relatively empty. We have a little bit of water in there for the digester. And then the battery power is at full capacity. So that's a systems monitor, and that's what it does. And then just turn it off when you're done. This here below the systems monitor is the ceiling light, and then the water heater. If you hit that switch on, this red light will come on, and if you've got hot water in the water heater, it will begin heating your water. So once you hit that switch, just make sure that you do have water in your water heater. You would turn that on, heat the water for probably 20 to 25 minutes, and you could take a shower. You could probably turn this off right before you're going to jump into the shower, but you'd have to make it quick. At the very least, when you get out of the shower, please remember to turn it off, and that's just for your sake to conserve propane and water. And this is the bathroom. I'll show you how to operate the toilet. You may not be familiar with an RV toilet. So lift the lid. You'd push this pedal down about halfway to fill the bowl with a little bit of water. Do your business, and then to flush the toilet, you push the pedal all the way down. And this is the sink area for the bathroom. Sink operates just like normal. There is a stopper here. You got a little bit of storage down here. You have some cleaning supplies. So there is some septic digesters here. There is some sanitizer here. There's a urine destroyer. This is a pet-friendly unit. Other cleaning supplies. A little bit of toilet paper. As far as toilet paper goes, just make sure that you're getting septic safe or RV safe, and we should be good. And this is the shower. I just wanted to demonstrate the seating area here because of the camera angles. There is a line dryer over here that hooks to a hook over here just behind the shower head. And then the shower head is just, or the shower is just normal, you know, cold water, hot water. Turns on like normal. This is where, again, just normal stuff. Closing that for some privacy, and we should be good to go. And inside the closet, there's a monitor here, and that's for the surge protector. So if you are at a RV campsite or even hooked up to a generator that isn't producing the electricity the way it should be, that could be potentially damaging to things inside the unit. So it'll actually cut it off and shut those any electricity being able to come to the unit. So for some reason you're at an RV park and the electricity goes off, this may be the reason, and that's to protect the unit. And this is the exhaust fan. I've been told that, and you'll do some reading in the manual if you do, that moisture is the enemy of a RV or a travel trailer. So exhaust fans are always recommended. So this is how you would open up the hood so that it could exhaust to the outside. And then this is where the switch to actually turn on the fan. And you can turn it on from very light or increase the speed pretty fast. But if you read the manual, it's suggested that you always have the exhaust fan on at least a little bit to get any moisture out of the travel trailer. And this is the sunlight in the galley. To close it, closes just like that, pretty simple. And then to open it, the knob, I kind of use my whole hand if I can to help it, but that adds a lot of light into here, into the interior. And I just want to demonstrate where to store this hook for the awning. So I put it behind the dinette cushions with that hook facing inwards towards the cushions and not towards the wall. Just seat it there, and then the cushions will just go stacked up like they normally do on top of it. Little tip, resources can be limited when you are in a travel trailer. So instead of heating up 5 gallons of water in the water heater to do some dishes, a little tip here is to heat some water up in this teapot, put it in this kettle. This kettle is vacuum insulated. It'll hold water for 6 to maybe even 8 hours, and that you can use to do your dishes with, or whatever you might need for cooking and things like that. So you don't have to, again, heat up 5 gallons of water, heat up a bunch of propane, consume a lot of water, right? So your resources might be limited. This is the AC unit. This will actually turn on the AC, and this will control the temperature, cooler, coldest, and then there's various vents that you can operate and open up to get to different sides of either the coach or even the center. But those where all these vents are at